When it comes to Pokemon investing, how does the saying go? Booster boxes king? Well, that's not true anymore. Booster boxes are no longer the top tier Pokemon investing item in the modern era. In fact, they're not even the second best item or even the third. They are way down the list now. And in today's video, I'm going to go through why that change has happened. We're going to have a look at the percentage gains of the modern booster boxes against their rival items, the ETBs, booster bundles, PC ETBs, all that kind of thing. I've got all the stats on a screen, and then we're going to look at investing in them going forward and what the better opportunities may be. And the reason booster boxes are no longer king is this little set here, which we've got on the screen, Scarlet and Violet base set. That's where it all changed. Silver borders came in, and it's not down to the silver borders to be fair, but in this era we got introduced to ETBs that have a promo in them, PC ETBs which have a stamped promo in them, and the booster bundle became more prevalent in this era, especially towards the back end of it and now into the mega era as well. So in Sword and Shield era and before, the booster box didn't have nowhere near as much competition, but now it's a different story. So let's have a look. So apologies to any office workers for that jump scare here, bringing up a spreadsheet on a Sunday afternoon or Sunday evening before you're back in work for the week, but it's the best way to display all this data. So what we've got here is every set from Scarlet and Violet base up until Ascended Heroes, that 3-year period from early 2023 to early 2026. I've not included last 3 sets because they're not even 6 months old. They've not started to appreciate yet, so the data is not really worth looking at. So we've got the booster boxes, we've got the PC ETBs down the first row here, current prices, percentage gains, then we've got the bundles, current prices, percentage gains, booster boxes, and so on, and then the regular ETB. The dark green cells are obviously the ones with the biggest percentage gains, and then the lighter cells are obviously the lowest, blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to spend too much time looking at this. You can pause the screen if you want to go into each line item and have a look at all the different percentages, take a screenshot, whatever suits you. But what we can clearly see here is these averages down at the bottom. The average percentage gains of a PC ETB from this last 3-year period block is nearly 400%. Okay? The second biggest is the regular ETB at nearly 300%. Then it's the booster bundle at 178%. And then way down is the booster box at 74%. So I've taken all the MSRP prices as what you can buy them from the Pokemon Center website, or with the regular ETB, it's $49.99 because that's the price you get them at nowadays. And so the booster box price is £144. I know that back in the SV base era, you could buy them for £80. So if you bought them at those prices, you would have seen a bigger gain. But we're looking at from MSRP, okay? From what you could buy them at that time, or now even going forward. It's actually quite staggering the difference in the percentage gains between the PC ETB, the regular ETB, the booster bundle, and the booster box, and how far behind the booster box has become as no longer the biggest and best investment vehicle in the Pokemon investing world. Now, what you might say to me here, and what might jump out on the screen, is that the specialty sets are the ones with the huge percentage gains, and it's skewing it a little bit because those sets don't compete with a booster box. Okay, that's fair enough. 151, 1,440% gain on the PC ETB, and there isn't a booster box to compare it to. The 151 ETB itself, over 800% gain. Paldean Fates, very high percentage gains as well on the bundles, the PC ETB and the regular ETB, and so on and so forth. So just for the argument's sake and for fairness, the second tab here, we've got the exact same set of information, but without the specialty sets. And even without the specialty sets to really crank up those percentages and bring the averages up, the booster box is still the worst performing item. And I think this is really eye-opening. The PC ETB is still the best from all the mainline sets at over 205%. Then it's the regular ETB at 130%, the booster bundle at 91%, and then the booster box at 74%, as it was before. So where I'm going with this is that throughout all Pokemon history, we've been told booster box is king. It's the best Pokemon investment item. You should always pick them up if you get the chance. If you get a chance to buy one at MSRP or below, always buy it. Always buy it. That's what we're always told. And that was true before the Scarlet and Violet era. It's changed now. And where I'm going with this is, I think a lot of people don't have endless cash for Pokemon investing. They can't always buy on a Pokemon Center drop the booster box, both PC ETBs and the bundle every single time. It costs a lot of money. And sometimes you have to make a decision to say, oh, should I just get one or the other? And if you are in that position where you need to make a decision, it's quite clear where that decision should go. For these lesser sets, so your Journey Togethers, your Temporals, your Paradoxes, the new ones coming out now, Chaos, Perfect Order, Pitch Black, is it even worth picking up the booster box when maybe you don't have endless amounts of money, you need to make a decision? The data here is clearly saying, don't bother. You're better off putting your money into, definitely get the PC ETBs every single time off the Pokemon Center website, get the booster bundles. If you can find booster bundles in regular stores, pick them up there. And if you can pick up your regular ETB for MSRP, if you get lucky in a store lottery, all those kind of things, definitely pick them up. But it might actually be safe or be okay to skip out on the booster box. And that sounds mad. Now, what I will say for like the really big sets like your Destined Rivals, if you can get them at MSRP, you know it's still going to be a good buy. But even still at the moment, it's only up 108%, which is in comparison to, for example, a Journey Together PC ETB, it's up 176%. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy, isn't it? You would have been better off going balls deep on Journey Together PC ETBs, because you could get them quite cheap on the secondary market when they first came out, than you are investing in a Destined Rivals piece, Destined Rivals booster box. Sorry, you're tripping over my words there. And it's quite eye-opening when you look at this. So we're going to go and have a look at one of the modern sets now as a case study, which is Chaos Rising. And as you'll see here on my Pulse TCG account, and by the way, all those prices on the previous screen were taken from Pulse TCG. Obviously, if you're in the UK, it's the only place to be getting your pricing information from and tracking your Pokemon collections. But as you can see here, it says I own 2. So I got lucky and got into the Pokemon Center queue, and I got one from there. I also got lucky in the Chaos Cards lottery and got one from there. And because it was at MSRP, I thought I just have to buy it. I have to pick them up. And in hindsight now, after seeing these percentages and going through the data, I shouldn't have bothered. I really shouldn't have bothered. These two at the moment, I could sell them for £330. It's what it says they're worth. They've gone up 11%. Okay, now let's have a look at the PC ETB for Chaos Rising. Sat below £75 and they've gone up currently 34%. So it's already streaming ahead. But what I'm getting at here is I would be better off, I think, in my opinion now, selling my 2 Chaos Rising booster boxes for basically what I bought them for MSRP, and buying 4 Chaos Rising PC ETBs, even though they've already ran up a bit, buying them at their current price as a long-term investment. And the data says I'd be better off doing that with the regular ETBs or the booster bundles as well. But especially the PC ETBs, I think that's where the safest play is if you're going to buy slightly above market. Because you look at this, what's going to double in price first? A Chaos Rising booster box at 160 to get to 320, or a PC ETB, which is exclusive and it's got the stamp promo, yada, 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 at £74 to get to 150. Which one? For me, it's the PC ETB all day long, especially when, as we just looked at, Journey Together PC ETBs, a year old, are sat at 150. And I think Journey Together to Chaos Rising is a very comparable set. So I just think if you get I think there's this case of FOMO, like I felt with Chaos Rising, that because I got booster boxes plonked on my lap for MSRP and I was lucky, they had to buy them. And I've done the same with Pitch Black. I picked up one for Pitch Black and I'm thinking, it's kind of like, if I don't have endless amounts of money, why put my money in the worst performing out of these 4 items, as you can see on the screen here, when there's such better opportunities out there, especially with the PC ETBs, and you get booster bundles at MSRP, absolutely go for them. And I think it tells a story when you look at how many selling, because we got sort of like 10 a week maybe for the booster box Chaos Rising, but we're getting more for the PC ETB. We're sort of over in the 20s, 30s there. You know, so people know that these are a better buy at this price, and I know they're easier to obtain as well at this price than the booster box. So this video, really, the story behind this video today is to open your eyes to why the booster box is not always necessary to be picked up, to be added into your portfolio as an investment vehicle, when these other opportunities are actually proven, and the data showing it, to be much better investments and will get you better returns. And just because you win a lottery or you get through on the Pokemon Center website, don't always have to spend your money on the booster box now. There's better opportunities out there, better places to put your money. And I think, yeah, for me, so going forward, Delta Rain, will I buy a booster box for that? Yes, because I think that is going to be a top tier set. But going forward, if we get more Perfect Orders, Pitch Blacks, Chaos Risings, I'm not going to buy the booster boxes at MSRP. I'm going to just ignore them completely and wait for better opportunities. I could buy some Prismatic that's about to go out of rotation, or I could just buy PC ETBs for this kind of price. I mean, £75, £74, really good value, I think, for me on these. So yeah, that was the tale behind today's video, to show that don't always jump at the booster boxes because you feel you have to, and they are not king anymore. The booster box is not king, and just don't feel like you have to plow your money into them out of FOMO. Just don't feel that at all. There's better options out there. So I hope you learned something from today's video and enjoyed me rambling on about the booster box prices and how it's been knocked off its perch now. If you like Pokemon investing and market content, I'm Cal, this is Calspokemart. I'm doing this on a weekly basis now, a few videos a week. So if you enjoy this, please subscribe, leave a like, and I'd like to know your thoughts on this in the comments below. Have you FOMO'd into booster boxes, recent ones at MSRP, and are now looking at that and regretting it a bit? Or are you happy to sit on them for the long term anyway? So yeah, hope you enjoyed this, and I hope to see you next one. Bye.